everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Get Inspired with Charity Elsewhere, where we have people share their success story, encouraging and motivating people to live equal, inspiring lives. Today, I am thrilled to introduce you to our guest. She's the director and founder of Michel Management Consulting, through which she seems to help businesses and corporate organizations. Please join me in welcoming our incredible Mrs. Justina AKPAN. Thank you for joining us today, ma'am. It's an honor to have you here. Let's dive straight into the questions. The first question says, please introduce yourself to our wonderful viewers.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for having me. Thank you for the opportunity. My name is AKPAN JUSTINA. I'm a senior HR consultant, HR generalist. I'm a mentor, a coach, and a training facilitator. I started my career over 14 years ago, and I've worked in various industries. I've worked in the healthcare sector, I've worked in the NGO sector, I've worked in the insurance sector, FMCG sector, and still going. So I have my first degree in business administration. I have my MBA human resource management. I have international certification as a senior HR consultant. And also I have executive diploma in international law and diplomacy.
On to the next question. What inspired you to enter the field of HR?
What inspired me? In 2000, I worked as an intern in Nigerian Breweries PLC, Ibadan. I was assigned to the Human Resource Department. So I worked as a team with other human resource members. So two things inspired me when I worked there. As an HR staff, you just have to know the entire operations of the organization. So I worked in all the departments in the organization. So that gave me an insight into the operations of the company. So I interacted, worked very well with the entire department, all the departments there. Then the second inspiration came as a result of the prompt response of the management to the staff concerns. When the staff raised any concern to the HR department in turn present it to the management, and the management, of course, promptly responded to it. So that encouraged the staff to put in more effort, which increased the productivity of the organization. So these two things inspired me to go into human resource profession.
Our next question says, how did Michel Management Consulting come into existence, and what issue does it aim to address or resolve in the work sector?
Okay, Michel Management Consulting has actually been, let's say, we have been cooking it for a while, but it came into existence officially January this year. We looked at the challenges of startup and also the existing organizations. So that was what prompted us to start Michel Management Consulting, so that we can also make our own inputs into organizations, because most organizations, especially the startup, they feel they do not need human resource services, that they can do it all alone. So as trying to expand to cut across all sectors, so we started Michel Management Consulting. So our focus is to leverage on our industry experience and knowledge to navigate all HR challenges for organizations.
On to the next question. As an authority in the field, what are the biggest challenges HR professionals face today, and how can they be effectively tackled?
There are so many challenges facing HR professionals, but I'll just talk on one or two. The first one is the level of acceptability of HR. Most organizations, especially the startup, feels they don't need the services of HR, that they can do it all alone. And that's not possible, because you need the input of professionals to guide you on what to do. You have conceived a business idea. You need the input of HR to help you process your workforce planning, then your strategic planning too. Because you do not have this knowledge, these people are trained in that area to put you through what you need. For instance, the workforce planning, they'll look at it for you. What are the skills you need to get to that goal? What are the qualifications of your workforce? And other key important areas that you need, so that you can be able to achieve what you have put in place for your organization. Then the other aspect of it presently is loss of talent. It's a big challenge for us. As HR professionals, you find out that your staff, your team, they are exiting the organization, and it leaves a lot of gaps for the organization, thereby making the organization to have to start recruiting from the beginning again, and it's a big challenge for them. So what I will advise or prefer as a solution is, one, that organizations should embrace HR professionals. You need us. You cannot do it alone. You need us for your workforce planning. You need us for your strategic planning. You need us for your legal framework. You need us to put in place your culture for you. Because you may think your culture, the best culture for you, is a people-centric culture. An HR person will look at it and tell you, oh, you actually need a customer-centric culture. So you need HR professional to put all these things in place for you. Then for the other challenge, which is the loss of talent, what organization needs to do is to put in place good welfare package that will retain your employees for you and give you good and conducive working environment, and also give your team sense of belonging. Thank you.
The next question says, on a personal level, how has being an HR consultant improved your quality of life and those around you?
You know, the role of HR is more like the role of a mother in the house. Because as a mother, you need to understand everybody in the family, cater for everybody in the family. So that's the role we play as HR in every organization. You know, we are in between the management and the staff. So, and you know, being in between the management and the staff, you just have to be in support of the two. So being an HR for over 1 decade has really improved my life. I understand people, and I use my emotional intelligence to deal with every individual, because we are all different. You cannot use the same method for A, for B, and for C. So you have to strategize, you have to be creative. So my HR profession has really helped me being creative, then being my level of empathy also increased, because you don't have to be harsh on anybody you see. You have to empathize with people you see. You reason with your team, because if you are too harsh on them, they will not be productive. So it has really helped me in my people management skill. So I've benefited a lot from being an HR, and I'm proud to be an HR, and I'll always be an HR.
I have a quick question I want to ask you before we proceed. I think it's like sort of a personal question. How do I become an HR even though I didn't study human resources?
Okay. Any course can fit into human resource. So as a young graduate, what I usually advise is you either take up a position as an intern or you volunteer with any organization. So once you take up any position as an intern in the organization, especially in the HR department, it gives you an opportunity to learn the basics. Then from the basics, you start learning the professional aspect of it. So I always encourage young graduates to first start as a generalist. As HR generalist, you learn all the aspects of HR, recruitment, performance management, talent acquisitions, and the rest of it. All HR operations, you have a wider knowledge of it. So after some years, when you have gotten grip of the wider knowledge of the HR, then you can now specialize. So your specialty depends on your passion, your area of passion. If you are this type that you love recruiting, so you can go into recruitment. But if you are this type of person who loves to journey with a new hire in the organization, you can go for performance management aspect of it. So my advice is start as an intern or as a volunteer. It will go a long way to fit you into that role of HR.
Last but not the least, how would you motivate and inspire individual who aspire to be solution provider and change agent like you, whether in their workplace, home, or their personal lives?
I will answer that question by this with this narrative. For the past 2 days, I've been facilitating interviews, and one of the candidates asked a question yesterday, asking what are the challenges she will face working in that organization and also in that role. So I told her the biggest challenge she will have is her mindset. Because if your mindset is not positive about your role, about where you want to work, then you have a big problem. So that's the same way I will answer this question. So the biggest challenge will be if the mindset is not positive, you can't achieve anything. So you need a positive mindset. And what I mean by positive mindset is you looking at what you want to contribute to the organization, how you want to help the organization to grow, what are the plans you have for yourself. You give yourself timeline that between this period and this period, this is what I want to achieve, and you put in place everything to achieve it. So you need that positive mindset to be able to achieve that. If your mindset is not positive, you won't achieve anything. So it's as good as you not even starting anything at all. So my advice is for upcoming professionals, be positive about what you want for yourself, set your timeline for what you want to achieve, and be a goal-getter.
Well, that is a wrap on today's episode. I believe you learned a thing or two and had been inspired to be positive, influencing while leading a purposeful life. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment below if you have a question for our guest today. Till we'll come next time, stay inspired.